Okay, so the tank one seems to be over here. Yeah. Oh, okay, I thought it was gonna be the bun girl. Where even is she? Oh, she's all the way over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started with the Dawntrail tank role quests. The Narwhal Beckons. The young woman gazes into the horizon with a troubled expression. Oh, hello. Judging by your attire, you must be a traveler from across the sea. I'm wearing a leather jacket and tennis shoes. I don't fit in Eorzea either. Let's see. Then I suppose Brook Evo has enlisted you to our aid. That you were guided here safely must be the work of the brave Narwhal, what? Who remains watchful even in this dire time. We are ever grateful for its vigilance. My name is Loazenikwe. Yeah, Loazenikwe, I think that's about right. I hail from the northern reaches of Dawntrail, where even our breath freezes when caught in the chilling winds. Our people revere the Dawntrail of the Narwhal, whose essence rests in the cradle of the sleepless, our most sacred treasure. Through fathomless depths it swam without rest, protecting its home from any who do it harm. Legends tell that the Narwhal could place the burden of its fatigue upon another, and thus was able to maintain its vigil night and day. So too can any who possess the cradle lull a person, willing or no, into a deep slumber, all while avoiding the need for sleep themselves. That sounds like it could be very easily abused. Needless to say, such power could cause untold harm in the wrong hands. Thus was the greatest warrior of our village, Tentoawa, tasked with crossing the ocean and returning that which is most sacred to us. I'd have joined him, but I feared I would only be a burden, so I remained here that I might find someone to send to his aid. Tentoawa has ever rushed bravely and blindly into the thick of things, leaving me behind to watch and worry. What are you, his mother? But if there's anything I can do to help him, even a little, then I must. Brook Evo has done well to send you to me. I can tell you are just the woman to temper his more reckless tendencies and keep him safe during his quests. Are you sure about that? Well, at least Alize's not here. As luck would have it, a letter from Tentoawa arrived shortly before you did. It seems he's discovered that the thief made their way to a place called Ishgard. Oh, he's gonna do really well with having a religious artifact at Ishgard. Well, I don't doubt his prowess. Even Tentoawa would be rendered helpless before the Narwhal's lullaby. Please, could you follow him to Ishgard and find him before he does anything rash? I believe Ishgard was the melee DPS in Endwalker. Or Korthus and surrounding areas was melee DPS. I vaguely remember doing that as Dragoon. Ishgard is like a second home to me. I won't let your treasure be misused. Yeah, let's go with the other one. That sounds a lot more grandiose and hero-like. Thank you, Brilliant. I knew the Narwhal would guide a brave protector to our side. Yeah. It's definitely not the blue quest marker above your head. Huh? Quest marker? What's that? Nothing. Tentoawa sails to an unfamiliar place, but despite his hasty nature, he'd doubtless spend time gathering information about his new surroundings before planning his next step. If Ishgard has a place like this one, where people gather to drink and talk, he might go there first. Ask for swordsmen with blue hair and attire like mine, and I'm sure it won't be long until you find him. Ah, yes, I know exactly where he is. He's in the bar, obviously. Tentaawa has traveled to Ishgard, and he's likely gathering information in the city's taverns. There's only one tavern, lady. Anyway, let's head on over to Ishgard. A nice hefty 1200 gil for the teleport. Or, you know, just use an Aetheryte ticket. Alright, the bar is at... the Jeweled Crozier. The Forgotten Knight, that's what it's called. Let's head on in there. Looks like that's where he is. I didn't actually even check if the marker was there. Okay, Blue Swordsman? Nope. Alright, have you seen the Blue Swordsman? Blue Swordsman? No, with blue hair, I mean. If it isn't Brilliant, what'll it be? I'm looking for a swordsman with blue hair. A lad from the Western continent? Well, I can't be going around gossiping about the comings and goings of my customers, now can I? That's a quick way to empty a tavern. But I suppose since it's you, I can make an exception just this once. A lad much like the one you described walked through my door not long ago. Was asking anyone whose ear he could bend about some stolen narwhal or some such he was after. Usually you buy someone a drink before interrogating him, but not him. Nobody knew what he was going on about, but he was determined. Asked where else in Ishgard people might gather to flap their lips. So I told him to head to the Jeweled Crozier, yeah, the markets. If you leave now, I reckon he'll still be there. You'll know him when you see him. Trust me. Uh-oh. I mean, he's got blue hair, so he probably stands out like a sore thumb. Except, like, that's like half the characters in this game. Because, you know, JRPG and anime. Okay, the Jeweled Crozier is over here. Well, he said we'll know when we see him, so, let's see if we can find him. Ah, there he is. Hot-blooded youth. I don't think you're gonna get along with these, elderly individuals of high class. Bunch of useless. By the narwhal's horn. You'd think manners keep people warm for how desperately these people cling to them. And here I'm trying to rid the city of a thief. Yes, it seems you know me, but I don't think I've ever seen you before. I do remember. Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean? Loazenikwe sent you? Even across oceans, she can sense when I'm in trouble. Well, I won't deny a helping hand, especially one with her blessing. I'm having no luck getting information from these people. Seems there's an unwritten rules regarding favors that no one's bothered to tell me. I'll leave it to me, I'll do all the work. Because, you know, I'm the main character. I know the thief traveled here, but that's where the trail runs cold, and I'm not just talking about the weather. I thought it'd only be a matter of time until they used the cradle to commit some misdeed or another, but it seems nothing is amiss within or without Ishgard's walls. Well, besides the dragons and everything, but I believe you resolved that. I have only a description to go on, although it's availed me nothing so far. A woman of a race known in this land as Elizin. She has striking red hair and eyes the color of rust. A scar dominates her forehead, and a mole rests upon her lips. She came to my village posing as a scholar with an interest in the cradle. Although she gave us a name, I know now that it was a lie, just like everything else that spewed from her mouth. The bounty of meat, vegetables, and fruits she offered was worth its weight in gold to us. After the cold snap we suffered last year, we couldn't afford to turn her away. But looking back, I realized how brazen her deception was. Although she wore the robes of a scholar, she moved with the poise of a predator. I marked her as a fearsome warrior the moment I laid eyes upon her. Of course, she wouldn't have been able to travel so far north on her own if she was unseasoned. so I thought nothing of it at the time. It was my first misstep of many. That's all I know. It's not much, but if you see even the smallest scrap of a clue in there, it'd be a damn sight better than what I currently have. Few scholars study in Ishgard without passing through the astrologium. Except for the Scala whatever, however you say that. If she feels even an ounce of guilt, she would seek penance in the same— yeah, that's not going to be useful. A skilled sword might be known among the knights of the congregation. Yeah, that might be true. Knights, was it? I suppose that's what you call those deadly-looking fellows clad in steel. Yes, you may be onto something there. But where would we find one willing to speak? Hello, Mr. Embrick? Yeah, I kind of, am friends with everyone here, so... At their barracks, near the tavern. I know the way. I'll meet you there. Alright, let's head on over to the... what's it called again? The Knights... Are Knights most heavenly? How gaudy. Like, jeez. Hello, from Albert. This is it, right? Let's not waste any time, Brilliant. It's Firm Albert. Not Fat Albert, Firm Albert. Why, Mistress Mason, what brings you to the congregation? This Passage of the Unbound is not a name I have heard before, but if one of their numbers has brought an artifact of great power to Ishgard, we would be ill-advised to suffer their presence. Also, they are a blasphemer and what do they call them? Heretic, and we must execute her at once. We shall act on this information at once. If there is aught that would threaten the peace, then it is our duty to root it out. Consider the knights of the congregation at your disposal. Thank you for hearing us out, truly. Now, does anything about the description we shared ring a bell? An Ellison woman with red hair and eyes the color of rust. Wait, you said she bore a scar on her forehead, yes? And a mole? No, it could not be. You know who she is? Well, such information is usually privy only to those within our order. Pray understand my hesitation. What? Weren't you listening to anything we told you? She's too dangerous to be left alone. This isn't the time for secrecy. I know I'm a stranger in your city, but I can't stand by while innocent lives might be at risk. You heard the man. If you can't trust Tentaawa, then trust me. He's right. The danger justifies bending the rules just a little. Nah. Can't be doing that, then it'll be a slippery slope. You were right, of course. If the hero who ended the Dragonsong War is not worthy of our trust, then who is? Very well, plus I'll call Emmerich if you don't tell me. Master Tentaawa, pray accept my apologies. Although you may not be an Ishgardian, your desire to keep its people safe is plain to see. We shall place our trust in you, as Mistress Mason has. Are you speaking for me, sir? I do not trust this guy. I'm just here for the quest. I'm glad we can see eye to eye. Now then, what do you know of this thief? Your description called back some old memories. Memories of a knight named Leofine. Merely recalling her story makes me ill at ease, for the mark she left upon our honorable order was black as pitch. None know of her whereabouts since she was expelled from the congregation. I had thought living with the shame of her deeds would be punishment enough, But if she now consorts with the villains that threaten the very foundation of the Order, then 'tis clear we can suffer her freedom no longer. I shall inform my superiors of this development, and suggest that the congregation does all in its power to track down Leofine and place her in custody. If we learn aught of value, I promise to share it with you at once. Really? That's more than we could have asked. I suppose we ought to consider what to do in the meantime. Care to join me over there, Brillian? Actually I do. Stupid character, why are you nodding stoically? I shall inform my superiors at once. Worry not, we shall soon form a plan to bring that wicked Leofine to heel. Alright, let's go join him over there, as he says. Yep, there he is. Go ahead and wrap up this first quest. I think we got like 6 quests to go on this, so this is gonna take a while. So, we have her name, Leofine, a former knight of Ishgard. That means she knows how to hide herself in this city well. Grasping about at straws won't get us anywhere. My own unfamiliarity does little to help our chances. We may have no choice but to wait until the knights discover a lead. Nevertheless, I intend to spend every waking moment learning more about the city and its workings. As for you, I only ask that you be ready to move at a moment's notice. Until then, be well. Yeah, except the moment's notice will only come if I accept the next quest.